Hi everyone, welcome to the Rugby League History channel. Today I'll be doing my tips and predictions for round 24 of the 2023 NRL season. Last week I got 6 out of 8 correct, which is pretty usual for the channel. I generally get 5 or 6 tips correct every week. But let's start off with the first match this round, which is kicking off on Thursday night. And that match is between Manly-Warringah and Penrith. This one's being played at Brookvale Oval. It sees Manly in 11th at the moment and Penrith top of the league. Penrith have won their last 7 matches against Manly, and also in the NRL this year, Penrith are on a 6-game winning streak. Manly is still an outside chance of making the finals. With Penrith, they're going for that minor premiership. For this match, I don't really hold out too much hope for Manly in this game. I'm not saying that they can't defeat Penrith, but the way that Penrith's playing and the way that Manly played last week, I really can't go past a Penrith victory. So I'm going to go for Penrith to win by at least 1 or 12 points. It might be 13 plus there on the Thursday at Brookvale Oval. And the first match on the Friday is between Cronulla and the Gold Coast. This one sees Cronulla in 6th place and the Gold Coast in 13th place. This one's being played at Shark Park. So with Cronulla, they have a great record over the Gold Coast. They've won their last 8 matches against them. The last time that the Gold Coast defeated Cronulla was in round 19 of the 2017 NRL season. They defeated them 30 points to 10. The last time that the Gold Coast actually won at Shark Park, though, against Cronulla was in round 4 of the 2015 NRL season. They defeated Cronulla 24 points to 22. I think for the Gold Coast, their season is officially over. They cannot make the finals. With Cronulla, they need to keep winning in order to qualify for the finals. So I'm going to go for Cronulla to win this match by 112 points. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I'm going to go for Cronulla to defeat the Gold Coast. And the main match on the Friday is between Brisbane and Parramatta. This one's being played at the Gabba. It sees Brisbane in 2nd place at the moment and Parramatta in 9th. This could potentially be Brisbane's last ever game at the Gabba for quite a very long time, and potentially it could be the last rugby league match played there for a very long time, because the Women's World Cup is coming to an end and Brisbane will be returning to Suncorp Stadium. Parramatta have a great recent record against Brisbane. They've won 7 of the last 10 matches that they've played against them. However, earlier in the year, Brisbane defeated Parramatta by 10 points in Darwin. Brisbane coming into this match having won 5 matches in a row in the league, and Parramatta picked up a very narrow victory over St George last week. For this match, I'm going to go for Brisbane to win by 1 to 12 points. I just think that they're playing very well at the moment, and as for Parramatta, they conceded 4 tries down one side of the field against Mikaeli Ravalawa, and I'm pretty sure Brisbane will be looking at the tapes going into the training sessions coming up this week, and they'll be attacking that side of the field again, because I think that Parramatta are very weak on that side. So I'm going to go for Brisbane to win by 1 to 12 points on the Friday. And the first match on Super Saturday is between South and St George. This one's being played at Barlow Park in Cairns. It sees South Sydney in 8th at the moment and St George in 16th. South Sydney have won 8 of their last 10 matches against St George. Earlier in the year, however, St George defeated South Sydney 36 points to 30 at Kogarah Oval. This will be the 7th time that South Sydney have taken a game to Barlow Park in Cairns. They're currently 3 wins and 3 losses, and at least this time they've actually shown a bit of intelligence, and they haven't played the match against North Queensland, because I remember 2 games that they took up there. They played against North Queensland in Cairns, so it was basically a home match for North Queensland. It made absolutely no sense, and on both occasions they got battered. So at least this time around they're going to be playing against a different opponent. I think South against St George is one of the underrated rivalries in the NRL. Both clubs go back a very, very long way. Played in grand finals, played in some very big matches. And of course, if you didn't know, St George wrote a letter to the NRL when South were kicked out and said if South are let back into the competition, it would be detrimental to the NRL. This is a really tricky game to call, because South Sydney have been out of sorts recently. St George pushed Parramatta all the way last week. I think St George will push South Sydney in this game as well. I will go for South Sydney to win though by 1 to 12 points. South Sydney Their season's on the line at the moment. They have to get a victory. So I'm going to go for South to win by 112 on the. And the second match on Super Saturday is between West Tigers and New Zealand. This one's being played at the FMG Stadium in Waikato over there in New Zealand. West Tigers in 17th at the moment and New Zealand are in 3rd. From what I can see on Rugby League Project, this is the first ever time that West Tigers will take a home match to Waikato. In the past, they have taken home matches to Christchurch and a couple of other stadiums in New Zealand, but this will be the first time in Waikato. It makes zero sense taking a home match to New Zealand against New Zealand themselves, but anyway, with New Zealand, they've won their last 5 matches in a row against the West Tigers. The last time that the West Tigers defeated New Zealand was in round 2 of the 2019 NRL season. For this match, I'm going to go for New Zealand to win by 13 plus. I think that they're playing too good at the moment for West Tigers to handle. West Tigers put in a much better performance against Canberra, but I just think that New Zealand will be too good in the end. West Tigers are staring the wooden spoon in the face, and it's looking increasingly likely that they're going to get the wooden spoon this year. And the final match on Super Saturday is between Sydney Roosters and Redcliffe. This one's being played at the new SFS. Sydney Roosters in 12th at the moment and Redcliffe in 14th place. This will be the second meeting between these two sides. Of course, in round 1 this year, Redcliffe recorded a famous victory to get their first win in the NRL over the Sydney Roosters. And I think this will be the first ever time that Redcliffe have played at the brand new SFS Stadium. With Redcliffe, I think that their season's officially over. I don't think that they can make finals this year. With Eastern Suburbs, their finals aspirations are holding on by a thread. They had to beat Manly, they did. There's still an outside chance. I think for this game, I will go for Eastern Suburbs to win in a very high scoring match. I think I'll go for East to win by 1 or 12 points there on the Saturday. And the first match on the Sunday is between Melbourne and Canberra. This one's being played at Amy Park. Melbourne in 4th at the moment and Canberra in 5th. The head-to-head between these two sides in the last 10 matches is even. Melbourne 5 wins, Canberra 5 wins. However, Canberra have been a proper bogey side for Melbourne in recent times. The last time that Melbourne actually defeated Canberra at Amy Park was in round 20 of the 2018 NRL season. For this match, I'm going to go for Melbourne to win by 1 to 12 points at Amy Park. I think that they can finally get a victory over Canberra down there. Melbourne rarely lose 2 matches in a row. Canberra didn't play particularly well last week against the West Tigers, so I'm going to go for Melbourne to win by 1 to 12 points. And the final game to close out round 24 is between Newcastle and Canterbury Bankstown. Newcastle in 7th at the moment, Canterbury in 15th, and this one's being played at Marathon Stadium there in Newcastle. In the last 10 league matches, these two sides have recorded 5 victories apiece over each other. However, the last time these two sides played, Newcastle defeated Canterbury 66 points to 0, which is Canterbury's 3rd equal highest ever loss. 2 years ago, they played against Manly and they were also defeated 66 points to 0. For this match, I'm going to go for Newcastle to win by 1 to 12 points. Newcastle come into this fixture having won 5 matches in a row in the NRL. Andrew Johns was comparing Newcastle's run to a potential similar run that Parramatta went on in 2009 or West Tigers did in 2005. I don't think that this run that Newcastle's on is anything like them two teams, but he's entitled to his opinion. But I will go for Newcastle to win by 1 to 12 points there on the Sunday. So that concludes my tipping video for round 24, the 2023 NRL season. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comment section below and let me know who you're tipping this week. And thanks to everyone that made my tipping video one of the most watched NRL tipping videos on YouTube last week. It's very much appreciated. So anyways, this has been Rugby League History. Catch us all later in the next one. Ta-ra for now.